advantage, topicality, the counterplan, the dissat. Yeah. War, press powers, topicality, the counterplan, the dissat. Cool. Is anybody not ready? Yes, there is a trade-off. Their evidence only says that the budget will raise to $13 billion. That means the subs are still over 1/3 of the budget and actively take away. And our internal links is also about their usability in a war with good China. They aren't effective in asymmetric terms. We think that Taiwan can develop asymmetric defensive capabilities, which are able to deter China effectively. Economic can't overcome the war with China because they're overly invested in Taiwan. Reunification is their number one goal. Their impact defense card is one. It's old. It doesn't assume recent China modernization of their military and Taiwan's defense changes and moves to a voluntary force, which makes China think that they could get involved and win a war. And their card isn't about China not wanting to get involved, but just as that they would fail, not that they wouldn't try to win the war anyway. China war escalates and goes nuclear. Both countries have a large nuclear arsenal, which means that we have the only guarantee to lead to extinction. Press powers advantage, not. Attack also probably collapse the economy because the two would no longer trade. And press powers advantage concede all their internal link and impact defense proves that Congress won't fall through on the counterplan either. And the opacity argument, there's no empirics to support that. There's no empirics to support that. And this was just a one-liner. T. Our interpretations that reduce may include changing form. Afflex outweighs. There's a small number of viable countries. Ignoring the process debate constrains the app too much, unbalancing the debate towards the negative. We also have an education. In fact, learning about the process is valuable. It's intrinsic how arms sales reductions are actualized, and any topic is incomplete without a large agreement in the literature on how some arms sales should end. Core controversies, it's about how to limit them. The limits impact. This is a lie. Lit checks limited number of mechanisms and functional limits like picks out of mechanism or mechanism mean only those with intrinsic advantages to reducing arms sales are viable. Or arguments like subs and DCSM can solve the small steps. Don't assume the worst version of extra topicality. We don't defend everything, only things about the process. Since we have a counter-interpretation that agrees with large parts of what they did. So the random puppy example obviously doesn't apply. The ground impact, no impact. Our interpretation still defends arms sales reduction. That solves the link to any ground argument. We just say the net can also change the process. You should air app process debates are inevitable. We agree. Your decision of process counterplans versus process apps. Everyone knows process counterplan theory debates suck and are uneducational. Forcing these debates on the app skips the bad debates and allows in-depth comparison of mechanisms, and the app already has a built-in mechanism to answer this. They're counter-interpretation nonsense. They're no more precise than we are. They read 3 random cards and kicked one of them. Why is that any more predictable? They obviously cherry-picked a definition to fit this debate, which doesn't make any sense. Common definitions are good. They're most accessible and predictable. There's no standard legal definition or reduced, which means it's arbitrary to pick any one. Reasonability debate. You should default to compete to reasonability, especially in this instance. Competing interpretations and incentivizes arbitrary exclusion and the cult of limits rather than educational debates about substance. It's supposedly true about this debate. They pieced together 3 random cards and also kicked them to create an interpretation. There's no non-arbitrary way to piece together a different interpretation when makes them limits for the sake of limits. So logically counter-interpretation only our app itself just proves our offense. Judge intervention is the devil. Reading evidence, personal preference, etc. That's also not bad. If you think the topic is debatable, if you think our topic is debatable, then that's not judge intervention counterpoint. Perm do both solves any residual offense at the top. They can't solve it if we prove the counterpoint could lead to a rejection of arms. If we prove the counterpoint doesn't lead to a rejection of arms, so it fails. They can't solve if the advantage of counterpoint is ignored. All the evidence solving arguments should be framed in the context of Trump 2 sub-warrants versus lobbyists. His administration is ground zero for influence. The massive defense industrial and cultural interests in favor of Taiwan that would exert pressure on Trump to maintain arms. So second is hawks. The administration is hawkish with regards to China. The litany of generals and trade war all prove Trump is in favor of containment strategies. There's no super compliance. That was mostly down above. That Trump doesn't care about public perception. He'll probably bash the Dems or his own party, which he's empirically shown the impetus to do. The circumvention argument, no, he specifically rejects the counterpoint, but not the app. But the app preserves legal mechanisms like courts, funding, conducts, etc., which aren't available with the counterpoint's mechanism. 2 warrants. First, Trump, he flagrantly ignored multiple soft flag examples during his administration. Racist tweet resolution, Saudi arms sale resolution, Yemen war resolution, wall resolution. Examples only go out. Second is legality. Resolutions have no legal standard. They don't hold up in court. It only shows that Congress doesn't have enough support to pass a binding measure. We're not going for the press fire, so that doesn't matter. The question of app solvency buzz follow was answered. Was largely ends above. You should frame all the cards. You're being great in theory, but to prioritize Trump's specific examples, he's unique instance has blown up decades of political science. The counterpoint also links to the net benefit. They set the bar low. The evidence says that any action towards Taiwan will be time consuming. The counterpoint still causes those resolutions are contingent. Saudi Arabia fight through lobbyists and China hawks or oppose even small gestures. Even the arguments are true. It's just that not to cause a month of fights. The counterpoint obviously is too. The committee plank also links massive rearrangement committees also in the middle of the session proves that causes it. Their first card didn't have warrant, and the second was about Canada, so that doesn't get them out of the link. Dissent. No terms case. The terms case about trade war disproves economic interconnectedness causing fights there. We're wrong about the impact that's clear. Statistical analysis should be perverted to make literature review while their evidence is single opinion. There's no connection to conflict there. Evidence also comes from a single thesis, not representative of literature consensus. And 2008 the Great Recession analysis or the aggressive legal force reaction of conflict data success over peace in 2012 was the same as balancing client is having expenditure crisis generated protectionism or ethnic exclusion. Their first card is about some random columnist. You shouldn't trust them. The second card is about tear gas words a rare event. That's our entire point, which means that the economic climate probably doesn't cause it. All of the link to debate they did about why the plan is really contentious also applies to the counterpoint because it's all about why Taiwan matters so much.
$5:30.
Thanks, Kelly.